So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Very good. Let me start the VMs. Sorry, let me start the services. Any doubts and queries in yesterday's topics or anything new? Okay, so the application server has started. Okay, so let us briefly revise the topics. Sorry, revise the profile parameters topic that we did yesterday. Okay. So over here, I've just added some more information in the sheet. So there are two types of profiles. The first one is the default profile. Okay, and the name of this profile is default.pfl. Then you have the instance profile. The second type of profile is instance profile, which is based on your instances which you have installed. So for ASCS instance, this is the naming convention, SID underscore ASCS instance number and host name. Okay, and this is the example. It will be like this is your SID ASCS instance number and your host name. Okay, primary application server. So this is the naming convention. So it is something like this. And the last is your additional application server. This it will be same as your primary application server, only the difference will be in your instance number and your host name. Okay, so these are the two types of, so right now in our system, we only have these two types of profiles, the ASCS and the primary application server, because we have still not installed any additional application server. Okay, so that was it. And then other thing, this was the sequence in which profile, the parameters in a profiles are loaded. So first it will be the default profile will be called. After default profile, then the instance profile will be called. And then you have how to check your profile parameters, how to check the values of your parameters. So you can do it if you want to check either one parameter or a couple of parameters. You can check it from RZ11. You run RZ11, give the name of the parameter, and you will get the value, details about the parameter. Second is your through this report RSPFPAR. So you can run this report from SA38, go into SA38, run the put this report and execute it. You'll get all the all the parameters which are there in the system. So this is RZ11. You can go into RZ11, search for the T code, or you can search from the drop down, copy paste anything, and then display, and you will see the value over here. You can see the details of that parameter. Okay, this is the detail of this parameter. One more thing, we also discuss about dynamics and static parameter. Static parameters are those in which to get the change, to make the change effective, you need to restart the application server. But for dynamic parameters, you don't need to restart the application server. So just to let me give you an example of a dynamic parameter. Let me check in my drop down list. No, it is not here. Okay, I think there is one ICF slash course. Let me check if this is okay. So here it is. Can you see this parameter ICF slash course enabled? If I click on display, see, you can see over here by default the value is 0. Okay, which means this parameter has not been enabled, it is disabled. Now if I want to change this parameter, you can just directly click on the change value button from here. Click on the change value button and you can give the new value over here. I can directly give 1. You can give 1 and you can save it. Switch on all servers. If you have multiple application servers, then you can change. If you click on this text checkbox, it will be changed on all the application servers. So but right now we only have one application server, the primary application server. So right now checking this box doesn't make any difference. Okay, in case if you have multiple application servers, you can go into that application server, log in into that application server, and you can make the changes on that particular application server. Is it clear? Okay, change made on all instances. Okay, so now if you see over here, if you see the below one, it says current value. The current value is 1, but the kernel default profile instance, all the values are 0. So we have changed the value of this parameter temporarily. Temporarily means till the time this application server is up, this will be the value. This parameter will be enabled till the time this application server is running. But as soon as you restart this application server, the value will be reverted to the default value. Is it clear with everyone? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the example of a dynamic parameter. Okay. So we were showing this RZ11, how we can see the parameter from RZ11. Okay. And if you want to check it, all the parameters, you can go into SA38. Please excuse me for 1 minute.
No issues.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so here in SA38 you can run the report. This is a report RSPF par. Run this report and you will see all the parameters which are there in the system. If you want for a particular range of parameters, you can also select the range from here. For example, if I want to give say ICF, I have not tried this. Let's try it. ICF star. Okay, so here if you give the ICF star, it will only show you all the parameters starting with ICF. Okay, so this is how you can search for multiple parameters or all the parameters in the system. If you remove this and click on this, there it is. Also you can have multiple selections. Also you can select multiple from here. For example, if I want to see all the ICF parameter, ICF star. If I want to see all the ICM parameter, then ICM star. If you want to see all the RDIS parameter, then RDIS star. You can select this multiple, click on execute, and again execute it. So now you can see all the ICF parameters starting with ICF, then the parameter starting with ICM, and then the parameter starting with RDIS. Okay. Yeah, is that clear with everyone? Okay, so other thing that we covered was that profile maintenance, import and edit. So when the first time after a fresh installation, when you install a fresh application server, the profiles only exist at the file system level, not on the database level. Okay, this is so the first time before making any changes from RZ10, before making any changes from RZ10, you need to import the profile into your database. So when you go into RZ10, and if you click on over here, so now I can see all the profiles because we have imported those profiles yesterday in the database. If it is not in the database, you will not find these profiles over here. So if you don't find it over here, you can go into utilities. First check the profiles of active servers, whether there is any issues, any error, and then you can import profiles of active servers. Okay, so here it is. So you first need to import the profiles, and then only after that you can edit the profile. After editing the profile, after editing a profile, when you save the profile, when you make any changes and you save the profile, the RZ10 program, it updates the profile into two locations, in your database and also in your file system level. Okay, so this is, yes, I think okay. Now let us see the practicals. So now if you see over here, I have some parameters over here. Yesterday we covered till here, and now we have some parameters over here. So these are some default parameters that you should configure or you should set after a fresh installation. First is your system client. In which system client you want to, for if you click or double click on this connection, if I double click on this connection, you can see that the default client here is showing as a 000. So you don't want your users to log in into 000, or at least try to log in into 000. So if it is not changed, the users will double click on the connection, and it will, the default client will be a 000, and they will try to log in into 000. They will won't succeed because they won't have the user created in 000, but at least it will just be an like error for them, frustration for them. So you can change it to the default client which you want all the users to directly access. So you can change it here with this login system client. So let me open this RZ10. Which profile we are making the changes? We are making the profile changes in the default profile. Set parameters in the default profile. Okay, because see, you cannot make this parameter in your instance profile, because only if the user logins to that particular instance, he will see the default client as 100. For the other application, for the other instance, he will see it as 000. So if you're making these changes, will be adding all these changes in your default profile, so that all the instances which are there in under the system should have this default value. So coming over here, default profile login. So this is, click over here, open the default profile, click on extended maintenance. Don't click on this administrative task and click on change, because it will open something else. So this is not exactly what you're looking for. Go back, click on extended maintenance, then click on change. So this is the location you can see. This is the place where you, this is all the profiles over here. Now you have to add these parameters into the system. So it's already in the change mode. You can just go into profile, or you can also do it from here, create profile. So you can just click on the create parameter, select this parameter and set. But here you don't need to change it because it is already there. If you come over here, you can see over here, this is the parameter which is already there. Can you see the login system client? So you don't need to add this parameter because it is already there existing. So don't need to add it, just change it to 100. So I'm changing this parameter to from 000 to 100. Can you see I make the changes? Now the second one is your ICM hostname full. Now if you search in the list, you won't find any ICM. If you want to make sure, you can click on this find icon. Click on the control F or find icon, click over here and you can search for ICM. Okay, starting at current line. Okay, just take out this checkbox. So ICM and click on OK. So you can see there is only one parameter for ICM, which is not we are looking for. So you can just cancel this. Now we need to add this parameter ICM hostname full. So I will click on, you can click anywhere wherever you want to add the parameter, but better to make it here in the top. Better to make it on the top and click on add parameter. Okay, now you can copy this parameter ICM hostname full and the parameter value. After, if you after pasting the value in the parameter name, you can click on enter. If you click on enter, it will show you the existing value in the unsubstituted default, the existing value over here in this two fields. If it is not showing any value, it means this parameter is not set. So if I come over here, you need to set the parameter with this value, SAP local host full. Now just click on back. When you click on back, it will ask you the parameter was changed. Save changes, yes. So now you can see the parameter over here, ICM hostname full. Then coming to your, these are the three parameters for configuring your ports. These are the three parameters for configuring your ports. The port 0 is for configuring your HTTP port. The port 1 is for your HTTPS port. Port 2 is for SMTP port. Now if you go into open another /o and open SMICM. If you open SMICM, these are the ports for your ICM. If you remember, ICM is the process which manages your HTTP traffic. If you click over here in the services, so here you can, in the services, you can see for the HTTP port, SMTP port and HTTP port, all the ports are marked as 0. It means these ports are not active. Even HTTP SSL traffic is not active. So after configuring these three parameters, this will become active. Okay, so now let me add these parameters into the system. So first, starting with the port 0, click over here in there on the second parameter, click on add. I'm adding the parameter, click on enter. If you click on enter, you can see the value over here, unsubstituted default and substituted default. If you see over here, the port is showing as 0. It means it is not set. So now I am setting the value to $80. $80. What does $80 means? $80 means the dollar will be substituted with your instance number. The dollar will be substituted with your instance number. So in that case, in this system, if you have multiple in this system, if you have multiple application servers, then all these application servers won't collide with each other. Okay, the port numbers will not collide with each other. So this is for 80 and $. Now after making the changes, just come back, save, yes. So now you can see the second you can see the parameter set to port _0. Again, I'm clicking on the third parameter, add. Now select port 1. I'm entering port 1, enter. So this is the unsubstituted value. This is the value that I'm putting over here. Okay, and then click on back, save. Now you can see port 1. Again, click on the fourth, add. Okay, enter. So this is not set. If I clicked on enter, but it is not showing me any unsubstituted value. It means this parameter is not set. I'm setting it for my SMTP port. Okay, $25. Come back, save. So I have set this parameter till now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the sixth one, SSO ticket. In case if you will be configuring SSO in the future, this option, this parameter will come effective. Okay, so it is for like accept ticket. So yes is for enable, create SSO ticket. So this is the value for 2 for creating SSO ticket. So let me add this parameter. Okay, it is by default 1 only. We are not making any changes, but just to make this parameter visible in the list, just add it, because this parameter is not visible in the list. So you can just add with the same value to make it visible in the list. Yes, now you can see that it is visible in this list. Okay, now the fourth, this one, create SSO ticket. Enter. The default value for it is 3, but we are going to change it to 2. Yes. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have set 5 parameters. The last one is for ABAP shared objects size in MB. So this parameter is actually required while you will be activating your Fiori activation, because at that time it takes a lot of resources. If you don't set this parameter, you will get a lot of dumps in your during your Fiori activation. So here I'm just setting this parameter in advance. So here before, again SAP system name, I'm creating a parameter. Enter. If you see the parameter, this is the formula for calculating the size of this parameter. What is the formula? Minimum 20,000 EM and initial size in MB into 0.02%. This is the formula. And after calculating this formula, the value is coming to 224 MB, but this is very low. So we are going to set it to 4096. Okay, approximate 4 GB. So here it is. If you see, I have set all these parameters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have set all these parameters here in my default profile. These are some kind of, these are some default, not default, or some like harmless parameters which you can set after your fresh installation. You can say it's like a good option or a good practice. These parameters won't harm your system. Okay, so it's a good practice, you can say. So you can just after a fresh installation, you can configure these parameters in your system. Okay, so now I have added these parameters in the list, but it is still not saved and active yet. These parameters are still not saved and active yet. If you want to check, you can go into your application server, cd/sapmnt s4d profile. So here you can see this is your application server. Sorry, this is your default profile. So here it will be saving. It will be saved over here. If I check for grep login, okay. So yeah, this is the parameter login system client. Okay, so there is now right now the parameter value is still 000 in the current default.pfl. So now we will check it. So now come out of this screen, click on the back. As soon as you click on back, it says profile was changed. Save changes. Yes. When you click on the save changes, it is still not updated in your profile. It is still not visible or still not reflecting in the default profile. Why? Because we have only saved it in your database. You have only saved this information in the database. It is not saved on your application server level, or sorry, file system level. So how to do that? Just click on save icon again click on the save icon. Now it is saying errors detected in parameter value. So these are some default bug from your SAP system. So you can just click on display. It is asking for you to display the values. Just click on no. If you want to still see the values, you can click on yes. It will show you some parameters which are not accepted in this. For example, this one. A check cannot be performed. Unknown parameter NQ process underscore location. Unknown parameter NQ slash enable. But these are the parameters that we have not set. So you can say it's a bug from the system itself, so you can just ignore it. I'm coming back over here now. Again, now it is asking me, do you want to activate the profile? Now this is the time where it will update this information into your file system in the default.pfl. So now I'm clicking on save. Profile default version 002 saved and activated. Now let me check in my system. Can you see over here? This was before activating, this is after activating. Now let me open this default.profile. If you default the profile, where is that value for the 100? Okay, here it is. Can you see? Login system client is equal to 100. If you notice the line just above this parameter, this line has been commented. Why? Because it is starting with a hash. Any lines in a vi, any lines in Linux starting with a hash, it means that line is commented. Okay, now so here it's the comment what you say, the old value was 000. This was the old value. 000 was the old value for this parameter. Login system client, the value for this parameter was 000, old value, and it was changed by which user, SAP admin, on which date and time. So it keeps a record of it. So this is the reason why it is advisable to make the changes only from your RZ10, because it keeps a record who has changed this parameter and when, and it will keep a log also. For example, this parameter was changed 3-4 times, it will have all the log over here. So the first value was 000, then somebody changed to 100, again the 100 was changed to 200, 200 was changed to 300. All this record will be added in this default.pfl. Yes, everyone, is it clear with everyone?
Yes, and I have a question here.
Yes.
Like before changing anything, normally we take the backups, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay. No, you not taken. So just I asked you.
Yes, the reason I'm not taking the backup, because I am not doing the changes manually. I am doing the changes from RZ10. So RZ10 is responsible for taking the backup. Okay. Now if you run
Okay.
ls over here, if I run ls, now can you see the difference over here? This is the default.profile. If you see the difference, the last version, the last you can say the last backup was default.6. This was the last one. Now if you see the change over here, can you see the change?
Okay. 7 also is okay.
7. So the RZ10 has already taken the backup. If you see the difference, between the RZ7 and the default.pfl, if you see the difference between them, okay, so you can see, okay, so we already have added all these parameters. So all this, if you see the arrow mark, is showing to the right side, means that this file, the right side file, this file has all these parameters additional. This has all these additional parameters. These are not there in the default.7.pfl. And if you see the arrow mark pointing towards the left side, it means this parameter is there in the left hand side, that is your 7.pfl.
Okay.
Okay, so here it is. So we have this, but now it will still not effective. Everything has been done. You have saved the profile also. Now if you see, it is if you click on here, okay, it is giving you one, it will give you one message over here. The effect of activating a profile is simply that the profile is stored at operating system level. For the profile to take effect for a particular application server, you have to restart the application server. Okay, so we have stored it from RZ10. RZ10 has made the changes in the database as well as in your file system, operating system level. But still if you check over here, still if I go into here in the services, if I click on refresh, nothing changes over here. Why? Because those are static parameter. So to make this parameter value to come into effect, you have to restart the application server. Okay, so now let us restart the application server. So before restarting application server, let me come out of all, let me log off from the system. Okay, I'm logging off from the system, and here from my application server, I will restart the application server. Okay, restart system, enter. Okay, okay, so it is not restart. Function 00 restart system. Yes, it should work.
I think you should be on root.
No, root. How can you run the SAP control command from root user? Okay, any command related to your instance management or administration has to be run with the SID ADM user.
Alright.
So I think so the instance is changed.
Spelling, no, the spelling is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, correct.
Ah, the
Yeah.
spelling is wrong. So let me correct the spelling. Restart instance. So it has taken. Now let me monitor it. Now let me check whether it restart the instance or not. Okay, the command was here only. Okay, you can see it has stopped this, and it is now it is stopping the application. Now it is restarting it.
Hi, Mustafa, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I was just testing that there is some issues with my speaker phone, so that's it.
Okay. Okay, my instance has been restarted. Now, if I log in into my system, okay, it is taking for 100 client. See, can you see the first change over here? You can notice the first change. Now the default, let me again close it and open it. Now if you see, the default client has changed to 100. This is the first change that you can notice. So right now we haven't created a 100 number client 100. We have still not created client 100, so you cannot log in into client 100. So for the time being, till client 100 is created, you have to change the value of this client every time to 000. Okay, I'm now logged into my system. First change you have already seen. For this parameter, you have seen the changes. Now let us see the change for this parameter. Okay, port 1, port 2, and port 3. Go into SMICM. I go into SMICM, and you click on the services. When you click on the services, can you see the difference over here? Can you see the port numbers? See, these are the port numbers. The previously before restarting, it was all was set to 0, but now you can set that the port number is for the HTTP set to 8001. For HTTPS, it is set to 44301. For SMTP, it is set to 2501. 01 is your instance number. 01 is your instance number. Okay. Now come back over here again, come back. So this was done. SSO ticket, if you want to check whether these parameters were set, you again you have to go into RZ11. Go into RZ11 and you just run this display. So now you can, so we didn't change this parameter, so it will not show you any change. Let me check the second parameter. Okay, display. So here you can see the default value was 3, but we changed this parameter to 2. Now the parameter has been changed in the default profile, instance profile, and the current value is also 2. Is it clear? Also, if you want to change this value of this parameter, display, you can see the parameter value now it has changed to 4096. This was the kernel default. This formula was the kernel's default, but we change it to a static value or a fixed value of 4096. That is it. Okay, now again we still okay. Now we will be making some changes in our instance profile. So what changes we are going to make? If you see this value for this dialog instance, so how can you check your dialog instance? SM50. If you go into SM50, it will show your work processes. So right now, if you check the dialog processes that I have, it is now 0 to 9, that is 10 dialog work processes, and my background work processes is from 11 to 16, that is 6 background work processes. Now I'm going to change this work processes. How I can do that? I have to again go into RZ10 here. Now here, instead of selecting the default profile, I will be selecting your my instance profile. Okay, not the ASCS instance, because the ASCS instance doesn't contain this fetcher. You don't have, you cannot make this changes in your you cannot add this parameter in your ASCS instance. It doesn't make any sense. So you have to open your primary application server instance or application server. So I opened this, click on extended change. Now if you come over here, you can see this parameter is already there in the list. You don't have to add it. The default value for this parameter is 10. So what we are going to make this parameter, what change we are going to make it? We are going to change it to 25. We are going to change it to 25 work processes. 25. And for the background work processes, we'll be changing it to 5. Dialog work process 25, background work process 5. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes.
So now just click on the back button. It will say profile was changed, save changes. Yes. Again, the profile was saved, but it's still not. If you still go in the application server level, on the OS level, ls command, you can see you cannot see any backup of this instance profile. So now let us activate it. Let me activate it. Let me click on the save button. As soon as click, it will say, do you want to activate the profile? Yes. Profile version 002 save and activated. And now let me check on the OS level. Again, click on ls. Okay, can you see over here? This is my backup. This is the backup of the instance profile, and this is my current profile. If you see the difference between your backup and your current profile, so you can see the change over here. In the previous file, in the backup file, the parameter for dialog work process is 10 and background work process is 6. In your current file, you can see that this is the new value, 25 for dialog work process and 5 for your background work process. And this is the comment which was added by RZ10. This is the comment. The old value 10, old value 6, changed by the user on which date and what time. So now I made the changes, but it is still not visible in the system. If you still, again, if I run SM50, it is still not, it will still not show me 25 work processes. Why? Because I need to restart the system, restart the application. Okay, so now let me log off from my system, get back. Again, I need to restart my application server. Okay, but now since I have not made a change in the default profile, I don't need to restart the whole system. You don't need to restart the whole system. You can only just restart your application server. I can just only restart my application server. Okay, so here instead of restarting, I will just click on restart. But here just make note that here it is 00, which is your ASCS instance number. Okay, change it to 1. 1 is your primary application server. Now I'm restarting my primary application server, not the whole system. Okay, so this method is not supported. I think it is only supported. Let me check for. Okay, no. SAP control enter. It will show you all the help over here. So SAP control, you can check for whatever is supported. So restart service is supported. Okay, you can see your restart instance, restart service, restart system. So let me check this restart instance whether it is So let me check with restart instance. Okay, it has taken it. Let me check the application side. Okay, you can see that it had started stopping your primary application server instance. So that is the correct command. Let me update the Excel sheet. Let it finish. Okay, now it is starting. It is starting your application server. So I will update the sheet over here. So restart system, the whole process over here. Okay, I will make it changes later. Okay, you can see my application server has started. Let me log in into my system. I need to make the change my client to 000. Okay, now if I run SM50, so you can see the change over here. Now I have, instead of the previous 10, now I have 25 work processes, dialog work processes. Is it clear?
Yes.
So with this we complete this.
Yeah, Mustafa, I have one question.
Yes.
So, in previous systems, ERP systems, we cannot increase the number of work process, right?
Yeah. Yes. Can you come again? In previous system, which previous system?
Sorry.
Can you come again with your question?
For example, in our previous SAP ERP system, for example, if I'm installing ECC or NetWeaver, so there will be configurable number of work process. For example, let's say it is 30.
Okay.
Among these 30, I can allocate for particular amount to dialogue or particular amount to background, like that. I cannot increase the 30 to 35 count.
No, but where did you get this information that you cannot increase the value from 30 more than 30?
I saw it in a video. So he said that when we are installing the SAP HANA system for ERP system or NetWeaver system, for example, when we are installing the SAP system, if 40 work process are coming along with the installation, so that is the maximum we can do. Among that 40, we can configure it like that.
No, actually, actually what I think is that you only got the not the complete information. What you have got is an incomplete information. Now let me try to see what was that. Now I think if I have that right now or not work. Virtual memory required by Virtual memory required by SAP components. Okay. Physical memory scenario. Examples for calculating the virtual memory paging file size for different SAP system. There is a formula over here. I'm not sure whether this file SAP system virtual memory required. So this is, I think, what the video, what that person was trying to explain was that, see now here, if you see over here, depending on your system, which system you have, for example, virtual memory. So for example, if you have a system, so if you want to configure a number of work processes, you should have that much memory available in the system. Do you get my point? So here what we are doing a virtual memory needed. For example, here what you are doing, for example, if you want 50 work processes or 40 work processes, that how much virtual memory will be needed. So if you do it reverse engineering, so in case if your system is limited to that virtual memory, then how much work process can your system support? That might be the, I think, the question which was, I think, shared by that person from the video. See, this is a central ABAP plus Java system. If you go in for a central Java system, scenario 2, if you go for a scenario 1 where it is your central ABAP system, so server has 4 cores. This is a scenario. The server has 4 cores, 16 GB of memory, and at least 16 work processes. Phase memory is not set to the profile and equals m size 16. So here it is calculating how much virtual memory will you need to support for this 16 work processes. This is the calculation. Okay, so this is SAP agents, approximately 300 memory, 5 to 10% of mem, and this everything. So this comes to something of paging file that is required is 14.3. So maybe I think this was something which your person was trying to explain you, and it was have been, because there's nothing, no such limit, because I've seen systems where you have 100 work processes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So there is no limit on that.
Okay. So
if you want to check if there is any such kind of limit or not, you can go into /ORZ11. Okay, so here it is. Okay, this is the display. 25. The default value is 2, but there is no restrictive value over here. How much it can be total work processes. If you want, you can check for the documentation also anywhere if you want to find it. I don't think it will be area that you have some limitation on the number of work processes.
Okay. Okay. Now I get it. So for example, if I want to increase the number of work process by with the existing hardware resources, or if I want to extend the hardware resources and after that I want to increase the work process, that is possible.
Yes, it is possible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Got it.
Muzaffar, I have a
Yes.
question then.
Yes.
Then why do we need multiple application servers if in a single application server we can have as many work processes as we can?
Okay, that's a very good question. Now see, multiple application servers is required for load balancing. Okay, now we'll say that if in one system we can have hundreds of work process, then why do we need additional system for load balancing? So other than load balancing, you can also have something which is called as your single point of failure, to mitigate single point of failure. If you only have one application server, if the hardware goes down, if the VM goes down, okay, then what happens? Your whole system goes down. Do you get this point?
Yes.
Okay, your whole system goes down over here. So this is the reason that you need multiple application servers. So in case if one application server goes down, you can always use your second application server. Okay, and one more I think critical information on this. Okay, now see, recently, the hardware, the growth of that hardware technology has grown so immensely that you can have systems which support up to 2 TB, 4 TB of memory also. But this was not the case 10 years, 15 years, 20 years before. Okay, from when this concept is coming from, like say from the time SAP R3 or SAP, all these versions were released, at that time this was not the concept. Sorry, this was not the technology was not so advanced like around 10 or 20 years before. So you couldn't have a system which would have like say 2 TB of memory. So you can like You can add 100 number of processes in that system. So earlier system, if I remember sometime back, mostly 15 years, 20 years before, there was no virtualization also. It was normally 100% physical servers. Everything was used physically. So in the physical servers, there was a limitation say now it only support not more than say, 16 GB of memory or 32 GB of memory. In that case, you cannot create 100 work processes into that one application server. So to expand your number of work processes which you cannot have in one application server, you created multiple application servers.
Okay. Okay.
So that was it. Yes, any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question in
Yes.
regarding TMS.
Yes.
Okay, in like we having like 3 landscape, then it is good. Okay, like a daily
Mhm.
it's consolidating route is there, and
Mhm.
quality to production it is a delivery route. In case of
1 minute, I didn't get your point. Again, can you repeat it again?
yeah. Total there are 2 routes are there, right?
Total
One is
there are,
delivery route, 2
okay, yes,
routes.
2 route, yes.
Yeah, from
Mhm.
development to quality consolidation route, and quality to production is delivery route, correct?
Yes, yes.
In case of I have only 2 systems in the
Mhm.
development
Mhm.
system only I having quality. Okay.
Yes.
Then only 2 systems are there, delivery and
Okay. Yes.
development and production. Then
Yes.
which route we need to take, delivery or consolidate?
See, if you have a two system now, you don't have the third system. Okay.
Ah.
If you don't have the third system, then the delivery route also will go away with that. You will only have
Okay.
to. So just for your giving your practical example, you can go into STMS. So I'm going into my transport routes over here. I'm changing, making into change mode. Okay, from here. So let me delete everything. I'm deleting everything. Click on delete. Delete selected links and notes. Okay. It was not selected. Okay, I've deleted. Let me delete the systems also.
Okay.
Okay, now again, let me click on the configuration, standard configuration. Here you have 3 options. So yesterday we selected 3 systems in a group. Now here we'll select development and production system. Select on development. In your development system, give the which development system, you give the SID of your development system S4D production system. So my SID of my production system is S4P. Okay, your development and production, just click on OK. Can you see what it has done?
Okay.
You don't need a delivery route because you don't have a third system.
Okay.
Okay, is that clear?
Yes. Okay.
So now I will just get out of this configuration without saving it. Save changes, no. Again, if I go into this, so I have my previous configuration intact. Okay, so that was it.
Yeah, Muthugar,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So we are mentioning we are changing the port number, right, in RG10.
Yes, port number, okay.
So for example, I am configuring something else. For example, I am configuring SMTP. So there I have
1 minute, Ram, your voice is not that clear. Is it only for me or for others also? Is it voice like a little low or something?
Am I audible now? Fine now?
Yes, now it is very clear. Yes, good.
Yeah, actually, for example, we have mentioned the $sign for the port number.
Yes.
So can we mention the same thing in anywhere else in the SAP system? For example, for configuring something else?
Where? The question comes where?
SMTP.
SMTP, what in SMTP?
For example, I'm configuring mail server.
Okay.
So I need to enter the port number, right?
Okay.
So there I'm mentioning I don't know the exact port number. So I'm just
No,
mentioning.
but again, see what I'm asking you, in which screen will you enter this port number?
No. In general, I'm asking. In general, for example, if I don't know the port number, for
Uh,
the last 2 digit of the port number, can I mention the same with the RC10?
See,
in the
first thing is that I have not tested this because I have not come across anywhere in your SAP system where you have to mention the port number, because you have configured the port number in your profile, and wherever your system needs to get the port number, it will go and fetch it from your profile parameter.
Okay.
Okay, it will get it from the profile. So anywhere from in your system, I have not come across any screen where you have to mention the port number. And second thing is that I think this is the format which is only understood by the RZ10 program. Okay, that RZ10 program has an intelligence or to identify the $$ sign. Okay, it might have a separate piece of code which understands, okay, if it is $, then what needs to be substituted in its place. So other program might not have that piece of code available in them. So I don't think so it will work in other somewhere else.
Okay. Okay. I got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, any more queries and doubts?
No problem.
Okay. So I think let us have a 10 minutes break before continuing. Is it okay with everyone?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. So see you after 10 minutes. Yeah. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. So now let us continue. So last thing we did was we configured some profile parameters, restarted the instance, and then we saw how the changes were reflected. Now let us finish the profile parameters. Next thing is the load generation. I think we already taken the load generation topic. What is the load generation? What is it regarding, and how we can do? And after doing everything, you need to just take a backup. Okay, and that is it. Okay, now let us now start with the client copy. Let us now try to start with the client copy. So first thing is that before creating a client copy, you can create a logical system, because at the time of creating the client copy, you can assign the logical system as well as to your client. What is a logical system? Anyone having any idea? Because I think most of the people here have already working on SAP and had some idea. So can anyone share with me what is a logical system? Yes, anyone? So you don't have to be perfect, or it doesn't have to be correct. You can just try.
Yeah, Mustafa, sorry, could you please come again? Ask your question.
What is a logical system?
Yes. So when we are creating a new client in SEC4, so as we know that client is a separate business entity. Okay. In a same system, the new client needs to be identified in a correct name.
Okay, good.
To communicate with another client or another system, the client created in a system needs to be identified with that system. For example, if it is a quality, so we are assigning a logical system.
Yes, that is correct. You can say the definition or not definition, or you can say reason for a logical system. Let me put it into easy words. See, when you have a multiple systems, sorry, not multiple system. We are not talking about multiple system. Let's talk about multiple landscapes. If you have multiple landscapes in your environment, what multiple landscape? For example, you have one landscape for your S4HANA system, S4HANA product. Okay, or you can say one landscape for ERP, one ERP landscape, one BW landscape, one CRM landscape, one, for example, say SCM landscape, and multiple landscapes you have. Now, when you have this multiple landscapes, and when if you want to integrate one system from one landscape to another system of another landscape, if you are doing that, how will you integrate? Normally we see that we have multiple clients in a system. We have multiple clients. Now if, for example, if the calling system which is calling another system for some information, so how will the calling system call the other system that I want this data from where? Okay, you can call, okay, you need this data from this host name, but from the host name within the system also there are multiple there are multiple clients. So from which client do you want that data? So to identify the other client in your multiple landscape, you assign a logical system. So normally the naming convention of logical system is like your SID, your SID, then following with SCLNT in caps, and then the client number. This is the normal logical system naming convention, but you can also change it. You can also use your own naming convention, giving it a more relatable name. Okay, for example, you are calling your CRM system from your ERP system, or you're calling your ERP system from your BW system. So for your ERP system, you can give something more relatable names, and like ERP system and something more like this, depending on the function or depending on anything like that. So that is a logical system. So normally it is not compulsory to create a logical system before creating a client. Okay, you can also have clients without logical system. You can have clients without logical system assigned to that, in case if you're not integrating them with any other system, then there is no need at all to create a logical system. But if you're going to integrate this client into with some other system in the future, then you need to create and assign a logical system, which can be done even afterwards also. So if you don't assign a logical system to the client, it doesn't mean it will not function or it will not function properly, nothing. Everything will work properly. And at a later time, maybe after 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, if you're going with some kind of new integration, at that time, if you want, you can create a logical system and assign to your client. So, but here we are doing it beforehand. So how to assign a logical, how to create a logical system? It is BD54. So you need to go into BD54/N BD54. This is okay. Here says the table is cross client. It means any changes you make in this table, it will be visible in another table. Okay. So now click on OK. So this is the table over here where you can define logical system. And there is nothing, nothing technicality in the logical system. You just have to give the name of the logical system by which you will be referring the client from another system, nothing else. So first, just click on new entries. In the new entries, you can give that this is my logical system. This is a logical system, SID CLNT 100, name, any description if you want to give any description. So if you want to give any description, I will give it is like, for example, S4D client 100. You can give anything which is more, you can say, easier for you or more recognizable, relatable to you, anything. Okay. So after doing this, now just click on save. After adding the entry, new entry for your logical system, just click on save. Now when you click on save, you can see this, it has given a prompt. What is giving that? It is given a prompt for your workbench request. What is this prompt over here? So now whatever we discussed yesterday related regarding that TMS, transport management system. So this is an example for this. Whatever changes you are making in the system, okay, if you're making any changes in the system, then it will ask you to create a TR. But everywhere it will not ask you to create a TR. If you are going to SU01 and I create a new user, it will not ask me to create a TR. So where it asks you to create a TR, actually it is defined in the system. It is defined in the SAP server, application server. Certain T codes, certain programs, certain fields are assigned with CTS. What is CTS? CTS, change and transport system. So if that field or if that program comes is assigned comes under CTS, now whatever changes you make in that program or in that field, in that column, in that table, that will automatically, when you make any changes and you save it, it will automatically give you a prompt to create a TR, transport request. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes.
So here it has given me the prompt. So what do you do on this prompt? What do you have to do? So since we are creating a new TR, so you can just click on create request. Click on a create request. It will show you a new screen. So here is your screen where it is you're asking, and now here only thing you need to give is a short description. You need to give a short description. It is a good practice, best practice, you can say, to always create a TR with a short description and related short description. It means you should recognize the TR from the list, that this TR number, what is it regarding? Because you like when you go into the import list, you will see hundreds and thousands of TRs over there. So always try to make a meaningful description for each of your TR. And also before this description, I am adding the component, or not the component, the module for which this TR belongs to. So this is also a good practice. Whenever you are creating a TR, you attach a prefix to your description by the module for which it is created. For example, I am creating it for BC, basis component. So I am attaching BC. If a finance consultant creates a TR, he will put a prefix of it starting with FI. Okay, if an HR consultant create a TR, he will start with a prefix called as HR. If, for example, if a WM consultant, he will put WW and so on. If a ABAP consultant is creating a TR, he might give it as something AB. So these are the some good practices that you should follow. So so that it will avoid confusion, and you can say like any kind of complexity in the future. Okay, so I have given this name of my TR logical system, and the name of the logical system, what is it? What code is there in the TR? Now, after giving the short description, I will just click on save. Okay, I am saving the TR over here. Now, after saving the TR, now it has given me, this is my TR number. What is this? Is my TR request. This is my request, and this is my request number, or this is my transport request number. With this number, I will identify this TR in the future. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes.
So just a brief review. Whenever you make a changes in the system which is assigned to a CTS, or it will create a TR, you will get a prompt to create a TR or assign this change into an existing TR. So right now there are no existing TRs from my end in which I can add this TR to it. So I will create a new TR. I've created a new TR. It has given me the TR number. I will click on OK. When I click on OK, this TR is created. This TR has been created. Now, how to check the TR? So the T code to check all the transport requests is SE10. There are multiple T code. You can also give SE01. You can go in. Okay, let me open SE01. So this is over here. You can see over here the name of the user for whose TRs you want to check. Whether it's a customizing TR, whether it's a workbench TR. We'll see the difference between a customizing and workbench TR after this topic. Modifiable, whether this TR is still modifiable. Until and unless you have released the TR, it is still modifiable. You can add more and more changes into the TR till the time it is released. Once it is released, it is freezed. You cannot make any changes into it. Okay, what happens in a release? What happens when you release a TR? When you release a TR, it creates all the changes related to it. It creates a co-file and data file for all the changes related to the TR and exports it into your file system at the operating system level. So here, if I'm clicking on modifiable display, now you can see my TR over here. This is the client in which the TR is created. Okay, it is a workbench request under the category workbench. This is the target client, the next client in which this TR will be visible after it is released. So when you release this TR, it will be visible in the next system, which is your S4Q. Then it is still a modifiable TR. It means you can still add your further changes into it. So it is still modifiable. This is your TR. This is your transport request. The number which is shown over here, this is your TR number. This is your TR number. Below the TR, you can see this is your task, or it is also called as a subtask. Under a TR, you have task. So it means under one TR, you can have multiple tasks. Even under one TR, you can have multiple tasks belonging to different users. So now this task belong to the user SAP admin. You can also create a new subtask and assign it to a new user under this same TR, so that, for example, that user, for example, if you are running a project, you are creating a project, something called as like a new integration into your existing system, a new development into your existing system, a new report or new kind of program, anything you are doing a new development in the system. Now this development, many different peoples are involved into this development. For example, one ABAP developer is involved, one functional consultant, finance consultant is involved, one other consultant is involved, and this development needs it contains many different activities which is assigned to different these consultants or developers. So whenever this user, what you can do, instead of creating one subtask and assigning to all the users, what you can do, you can create multiple subtasks. One subtask, assign it to the ABAP developer, create one subtask, assign it to the finance consultant, create another subtask, assign it to the HR consultant, whoever users are involved in this project. Or maybe if you have some multiple finance consultants involved in this project, you can create multiple subtasks for each of those finance consultants. Now after creating, now you will get multiple, you will in this list, you will get multiple subtasks over here. So every user will be doing their changes and saving these changes into their own subtasks. Okay, now when they do everything, they have tested into the test system. Now everything has been tested, and now they're okay to okay to move this change into the next system, the quality system. So before doing that, what you need to release each of these subtasks and finally release your TR, transport request, and only after releasing the transport request, the core files and data files will be created on the next system, on the file system, and it will be visible into the import list of your next system. Was that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so now if you see over now, if I go into my operating system level, if I go into cd/usr sap trans, this is my transport directory, this is my transport. Now here you have core files, here there is a file called as core files, and here you have a file that is called as data. Both of the directories are empty. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to release it over here. Achha, one thing before that which I was showing you is that okay, this T code is SE01. You can also open SE09. This is the same another T code for doing it. Only difference, if you see over here, here you can see multiple tabs over here in SE01, but here in SE09 you cannot see multiple tabs, but you can see the same screen over here. If you run display, it will say you will see the same screen over here which you see over from here after clicking on display. Also there is another T code that is /o SE10. This is also the same T code as your SE09. If you see, this is the SE09 T code and this is the SE10 T code, both are same. So it's up to you, whatever is feasible or comfortable to you, you can take that T code. So right now, let me just continue with SE01 only. So this is my SE01 T code. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to release my TR. Before releasing the TR, you need to first release your subtask. All the subtasks should must be released before you continue with the releasing of TR. So select your TR, select your task. Achha, one more thing, if you want to see what is the content of this TR, sorry, the subtask, you can click on this plus icon over here. Then view maintenance data, click over here. Here you can see this contains one table. If you click on over, these are the two content. These are the two tables which are contained into this subtask. This table contains the data which has been changed for this TR. Okay. So this is the content. So now I'm going to release this subtask. I'm selecting it and click on the truck icon. So when you click on the truck icon, it means release directly. I'm clicking on the truck icon. Okay, now can you see a tick mark over here? Now when you see the tick mark is over here, it means this subtask has been released. Now when this subtask has been released, now you cannot make you cannot add any more changes into this subtask. Now it has become read only. You cannot make any changes in this subtask. Now if you want to make more changes, you have to create another subtask in this TR. Also now if you go into check into your OS level, still you can see nothing has been created yet. No core file and data file has been created yet. So next step is after releasing the subtask, you have to release your TR, transport request. Now again same thing, select your transport request and click on release directly. Click on release directly, it will show you this screen. Okay, this is the screen where it is showing you what process, what is the current progress of releasing the TR. Okay, so if you want to monitor it, you can just click on refresh and check it. So now if you see, all the steps have been completed, and 00, this 00 is actually your return code. So all of them has been completed successfully without any error. There was no error in releasing this TR. You might get errors also in releasing TR. This is a very common thing. Okay, you can get error also. It will get, it depends on the error, why the error occurred. So this TR is in a release. If you now go back, okay, now go back. Now you can see a tick mark against your TR also. When you see a tick mark against your TR, now it means that this TR also has been released. Now you cannot add any more subtask also in this TR. Now this TR has been freezed. And what do you mean by freeze? Now if I go into my operating system OS file system level, if I check the core files, see, you can see some file over here, one file over here. In the data file also you can see a file. So if you see, if you compare this number, this is the same number by which your TR has been created. See, if you see the TR number over here, S4DK002. So this is your TR, this is your TR number. If you see the number of your co-file, it is the same number, only a little difference in your naming convention. Instead of S4DK9002, it has started with the K, and the S4D has been shifted to the as an extension. Okay, and the difference between to identify a co-file and a data file is that the co-file starts with the capital letter K and the data file starts with the capital letter R. That is it. Other thing, if you want to see what is a co-file, so if you go into co-file, this file, if I check the see, it's a data file. What it is showing over here is that it's a data file. Now let me check the data and this data file. Again, it is showing as a data. Both of them are showing as a data file. But if I use the cat command, if I use the cat command to see the content of the co-file, see, I can see the content of the co-file. This is the content of the co-file, the user which has released this TR, and this is to identify what is it, the SID. These are some numberings related to your TR. Okay, these are all some kind of like say these are the your some tags, or you can say some information which is put by the TR. These are the information related to TR. But same again, if you try to cat your data file, see, you will see your some garbage character on your screen. It means you cannot view the content of your data file. You cannot view the content of your data file. You can view the content of the co-file, but you cannot view the content of your data file. Is that clear with everyone?
Yeah, and I have like one small question here.
Yes.
Yeah, like from SC37, you can unrelease the TRs, right?
SC37 is for monitoring your background job.
No,
Okay.
SM37, right? That one.
SM37 is for monitoring your background jobs.
Okay. And
okay, so this is one clarification. Second clarification, there is no way by which you can unrelease or revert your TR.
No, one is there.
Okay.
Because once I done that on report, we need to run.
Okay.
So that that will be like unrelease it, but I don't think so. We can make changes on that.
See what you mean to say is that if you unrelease it and if you cannot make any changes, then what is the use? What is the use of unreleasing it? It is because the condition or the status of both is same, na? After releasing, you cannot make any changes. But if you say we can unrelease it, yes.
I will try that on afterwards once.
You share the report which you are saying. Share the report with me. I will check from my end what that report does and what is the function of the report. Okay.
There is a report like which changes the property of a released TR. Like after releasing, we cannot change the name of the TR, right? But after running a report, we can do the changes. But that is not a recommended thing. That is like a Bappers loophole kind of thing.
Okay, I'm still not. You also share the report with me. Let me check the report. Okay, another thing, if you want to change any data of the TR, you can just double click on it. Double click on the TR, you will see the content of this TR. So what this is, this contains this too. This contains it contains this program ID, this object ID, and this all these details over here. This is the content of the TR. If you go on the first screen, this is the properties. Okay, in the property of your way, it will you can define a project for this TR. So you can collect, or you can say segregate, or you can arrange your TRs, multiple TRs into one project. So you can track your project from there. So you can, if you need what from again for that, you need to create a new project, and then you can assign this TR to this project. Then this is your target system. So now here it is. If you release this TR, to which system it will be visible. This is your target system. So if you want to see over this, if you go into /OSTMS, okay, if I go into STMS. Right now, we don't have the target system. S4Q is not available. It is not a physical system, but we have added it as a virtual system, and we have configured TMS on it. Okay, so now if you go into STMS, if you click on your import overview, in the import overview, you will see all the 3 systems which are configured in your transport route. When you refresh it, if you refresh it, you can see the one, you can see your S4D. If you click on S4D, you can see, let me see, refresh. Okay, it is not available in S4D, but if you click on your S4Q, if you see, if you can also see the number over, if you see the request number over here, you can see that okay, so you can see the number 1 over here. So your S4Q quality, the import list or import queue, this is the import queue of your quality system. So it is still showing 1 TR. It is still showing your TR. So now, now if you continue releasing TRs from your quality, from your development system, it will start populating into this import queue list over here. Okay, now what is the good over here? So the next, maybe after 1 or 2 months, when you install your quality system and you add that quality system into your current transport domain, automatically when you run the HTMS T code into your quality system and go into this list, you can see this list in your quality system. You can directly start importing this TR into your quality system when it is available. Is that clear?
Yes, and like I have a small question here.
Yes.
Like when we like releasing the TR, first we need to release the child and again the parent one, correct?
Yes, so the child is called as a
Yeah.
subtask and the parent is called as a
Subtask.
TR.
TR, okay.
Or the
Why we
request.
like why we not releasing the first TR and this one subtask?
You can try it, it will give an error. Okay, if you
Okay.
if you try that, it will give an release the subtask, that is something, some error like that. It will give you an
Okay.
error.
Okay.
Any more query regarding this? Yes. Everything clear? Okay,
Yes.
Guy, you there?
Yes.
Guy.
Yeah, yes, I'm there.
Okay, so Guy, you asked one question yesterday. What is about this approval and what you do about this? Okay, so let me tell you what is regarding an approval, which you asked the question yesterday. Okay, so what happens? See, you have 3 systems: development, quality, production. Now, when you release the TR from your development system, when you release the TR from your development system, I have released this TR from my development system. Okay, so I have released my TR from a developer. As soon as you release the TR, it will be visible in your quality system, in the import list of your quality system. Okay, this is the import queue. So as soon as you release from your development, it will be visible in your import queue of your quality system. Now you can select this TR and you can click on import, so that changes which was done in the development system will be imported into your quality system. Here in my example, I cannot see the import icon over the truck icon over here. The reason is that because quality system is not a physical system, is not an actual system. You cannot say it's a physical system, but it is not an actual system. It is a virtual system. So that is the reason I cannot see the truck icon. But in your environment, you will see the truck icon, and when you import this TR into the quality, the same changes which you done in the development will be available in your quality system. Now regarding that approval procedure which you asked yesterday, so now when you import this TR into quality, as soon as you import this TR into quality, it will be visible in the import queue of your production. Okay, it will be visible in the import queue of your production. So now what happens when it is it is visible in import queue? If someone by mistake, so okay, normally see, this is just a fresh system, so you are seeing only 1 TR. In an actual system, live systems, you will see hundreds of TR in the list. So someone is trying to go into production system, he wants to import 1 TR, but by mistake he imports the other TR by mistake. So it will have a very negative, or you can say a very big impact on that production system. So what you can do is there, so in this you can create an approval system. Only the TR which has been approved in the quality will be visible in your import queue of your production. Until and unless you approve that TR, it will not be available in the import queue of your production. Is it clear? Guy, is it clear to you?
Yes, yes, it is. I don't remember my question, so this part is clear.
Okay, so that is it. I think you asked this question on this screen. I think you asked about the approval process. You asked, you said you cannot understand this screen. Okay. So if you see, this is a development system, this is your quality system. So in the quality, so when you export, when you release from your development system, the files are exported into your transport directory. When you import it into your quality, the changes are imported into quality. But still, if you have an import, if you have an approval system in place, even after importing in the quality, it will not be visible in the import list of the production. Only when the user approves, that TR, it will be available in the import list of your production, so that it can be imported in your production. Is it clear? Okay, so we have this three system landscape. I think most of this has been covered. The system. Only one thing which is pending over here. So here you can see importing transport request. So what you can do is that you can click. See, there are two icons over here. There are two icons on the screen. One is your import of single transport request. So with this icon, you can select any transport request. So instead of, actually this is not a correct statement, import of single transport, but what you can say over here is the import of a selected transport request. So what you can do from this list over here, from this list, if you have multiple transport, you can select multiple transport. You select that TR, and you have an option over here which is, yeah, this is select. So when you select it, this TR gets selected. If you have multiple TRs, so you can select your TRs. After selecting your TRs, then you can run on this truck icon. See, this is a you can see a small orange square. So what this CR will do, it will only import those selected TRs into your system. There's another option. There's another option with a full truck icon. Okay, now let me come back over here and go back into my S4D. If you see in S4D, you can see these two truck icons over here. This was not visible in S4Q. So you can see what it says, this one, import request. The other truck icon, it says import all request. If you click on this icon, import all requests, it will import all the requests which are there in the import queue. This is a very critical, this is a very dangerous one. Because if any user, he is not aware of the thing, if he imports all the transport requests which are there in the list, and if some of the transfer requests are not intended to be imported into the system, it will have a disastrous effect on the system. So this is a very risky icon. You can select the request, and you can select it. You can click on this for importing the selective TRs. But if you click on this, all the TRs will get imported. So here this is showing this option. If you can select multiple TRs and you can transport. But if you click this icon, import of all transport requests, all the transport requests will be imported into the system. So this is actually a risky option. So what you can do is that you can restrict this icon. You can disable this option. Okay, how you can disable this option? You have to come back in STMS, go in the system overview. Now on which system you want to disable that? On which system you want to allow? Right now our quality and production system, both of them are virtual. So it doesn't make any sense to set that, change that. So we have a actual system development. So let me change it over here. Okay, so /o STMS. So if you see over here in the S4D, you can see two icons over here. This is for request import all request. This is for import selective request. Now if you go into this option over here, okay, so now double click on your S4D. You can see the tab over here. You can go into the last tab, transport tool. transport tool, and you can change it into change mode. Click on the change mode. Okay, click on the, you can select any one row over here and click on add row. Click on insert row. I click on insert row, and I will say give the name of that I will give the name of that parameter. So where can I find that parameter? If you again come back into the TMS, you will see in the last one over here. No, I think I have removed that parameter from here. Okay, it's not here. So let me, I think it is no import all. No underscore import underscore all, and the value is 1. So this is the parameter and this is the value 1. And now I save it. Parameter no import all can be created only as a no import all can be created only as a local parameter. Actually, it is giving a warning. Why? Because it is a local system making the changes on the local system. So just click on OK. So this parameter, you can see no import all, this parameter has been saved. Now if I go back into my screen, this is not this is screen, this is screen. So here you can see, still you can see both the icons over here. Import request, import all request. Now click on refresh. When you click on refresh, can you see the import all request icon has vanished from this screen? It is not visible anymore. If it's not visible, then nobody can click it by mistake. Yes, everyone. Okay with this?
Yes.
Okay, so that was for like a logical system. We created a logical system. Okay. So this was done. Okay.
Yeah, Mustafa, I just replied on like chat box and the
Yes,
WhatsApp
I
group also the
saw.
report name.
Let me check this report. Was it what it is? Request task over here, so it won't give me any. Let me check it online. What exactly is this report for? Report not functional anymore. Okay. Okay. Someone has enabled the video. Okay, it's stopped now. Okay, so what is this report about? So here you can see it. You can again make it as a release, from release to modifiable. How to change a transfer request from release to modifiable. I don't think I have. I think I don't have to do anything about this document. It's sufficient. Okay, I think if you can, you do this. I think it's a very good option. Let me try. Let us try again. Okay, let us try. We have already released a transport request. Now let me see. Let us see it physically into the system. Now what I will do is that I will go into my application server. Okay, here what I will do, I will move both of this co file and data file. This co file and the data, and I move into the /tmp system. Okay, now if I check the co files directory, it is empty. If I check the data files directory, it is empty. So what I'm doing over here is that I'm creating a scenario where I have lost. I'm creating a scenario where I have lost my co file and data file. Okay, now what can be done? So now what I will do, let me go into the system. Okay, let me run this report. It is asking for the TR request or task. Okay, let me check for my S4D. This is the TR. Okay, so can you see my TR over here? This is my TR 02. 3 is the subtask. 3 is the subtask. This is my TR. So I'm running this over here in the second window. Let me open my /n SE01, SE01, SE10. Now I'm going into modify. Now when I clicking on modifiable, if I click, see here the option which is selected by default is modifiable. When you click on display, I don't see anything over here because I don't have any modified TR available. So if you click on the release TR and click on display, so here you can see the release TR over here because this category has changed from modifiable to release. Now if I go back into the system, let me execute this TR. Okay, what it is saying? I think it has been done. Let me check again over here. Let me refresh it.
No, you need to change that one. Edit from edit.
From edit where?
Yeah, can you go the screen? Yeah. In
Yes.
that, double click on that.
Okay.
No, not there. In the that
Okay,
visible screen
yeah.
is there, no there.
Uh-huh.
No. In that when you run report, no, on that.
Yeah, release.
In SC30.
Okay, SC30,
No,
SC38.
in 38.
Okay, what do I need to do?
Yeah. Just double click on that. Execute.
Yes, I did on that. No, it gave me this option.
Yeah, no, here execute.
No, this is not execute. This
Double
is
click
choose.
on that. In
Okay, so it is
second
asking
one.
me to choose the TR. So if you want,
yeah.
you can. So let me make the whole
Just
TR
double click on
modifiable.
that.
Okay, I'm choosing to. Okay, request as this.
Here you need to edit.
Okay, let me continue.
No, edit.
Okay.
A pencil button is there, no, on that.
Okay, edit. Okay, this is only for changing the description.
No.
Okay.
In downwards, no. Status and request type is there, correct?
Okay. Okay, K and
Status and
S.
request type.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Just on the
Status. Okay, you need to
one
change the
checkbox
status.
will become.
Okay, so let me make it
Yeah,
modifiable.
here
D.
we need to
Modifiable and let me save it. Or you can just click on yes, continue. Save or continue.
yes, and
Okay, I'm clicking on
we
continue.
can
Do you want to save the changes before you exit? Yes. Okay, changes was saved. Now let me come
and
into
do the same in the second one also.
Okay, so here no needs. Can you see over here? Now it has changed to modifiable. Okay, can you see? It has not
Correct.
changed to modifiable. So it's very good. It's a very good learning experience for me also. So now if I again release it, again the co-file and the data file will be request has invalid attributes expired timestamp.
You need to go there and do the changes only.
Okay, properties
You need to go
timestamp.
there and do the.
Okay, so but again, if I cannot release it again, then the co-file and data file I won't be able to release it again. The co-file and data file won't be released again. Request has the invalid attribute expired timestamp. Okay, so let me again come over here to I need to select change category source client target system. So from here I need to again request type K release. Okay, so now if I again come back over here, refresh, it will again come to my release status. Okay, that was good. But again, it will not create the TR on the co-files and data file. Okay, let me bring them back. Move /tmp K will go to my co-files. Move /tmp R will go to my data. Okay, that is it now. Okay, so I'll say I'll do some more like say testing on it. Let me. We have put that name of the report in the group also.
I just texted it. You can check
Okay,
it out.
that's good. So it will be in our record now. Very good.
Yeah.
So now let us move ahead. We have done the logical system, all this. One more thing. Okay, so this thing we covered now. Change transport logs, checking transport logs. So you while you are doing the export, you can check the export logs. When you are doing the import, you need to check the import logs. Sorry. If you come back over here in the system, if I go again in the system, okay, from here for this request modifiable release display, if you click select this request, you can go into, I think, go to transport logs. You can see the transport logs over here. If you click on the transport log, you will see the logs over here. Okay, these are the logs over here, so you can see the logs from here. So you can see if for example, if you want to see your previous status of your previous TRs and all, you can go into the transport logs. You can select the TR and you can go into your transport logs and view your transport logs from here. Action log. Okay, this is what it done it for each and everything. Transport log. Then you have your transport customizing changes. Okay, this is just an overview of the same screen. So this is the owner. This the name after the TR. After the name of the TR, this is the name is the owner, the owner of the TR. Then the first one. So where is that owner of the TR? This is the owner of the TR. This is the owner of the TR. This is the owner of the subtask. This name is the owner of the subtask. This name is the owner of the TR. This is your TR number. This is your TR number. This is the TR. These are the members. This, if you see the list over here inside this TR, this will be all the members of your TR. So these are the members of the TR. Task. This is a task, or you can say that subtask or the task. That is the task of your this view. You can see the view over here. This is the name of the table. Table and the primary key field. This is the primary key field. Important. The transport request inside the transport organizer does not contain the objects themselves, only their primary key fields. It will only list the primary key field which has been affected. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes.
One more thing which I want to share with you is that there are two types of transport requests. There are two types of transport requests. One is your workbench transport request. Other is the customizing transport request. What is the difference between the same? It's simply explained in the screen. If you see the customizing, as the name suggests, it only affects your client. Okay, if you import a customizing TR into your system, so when you import that into your system, it will ask you for the client in which you want to import it. When you select that client and import it into your system, it will be only imported into that particular system, not anywhere else. It will be only imported into that particular system, nowhere else. No other client. Sorry, I've just it will only be imported into that particular client and no other client. So you can see if you create a customizing request, it will be only impaired. So normally for those changes which are like client independent, for those changes which are client dependent, it will automatically create a customizing TR. And for those changes which are client independent, it will automatically create a workbench request. Is it clear?
Yeah, Muthu, can you please come again?
See, there are two types of transport requests. There are two types of requests. One is your customizing request. Other is your workbench request. Customizing request will only affect one client at a time. Okay, workbench request, for example, simple. If I'm importing a customizing TR in my system, I have, like, for example, say three clients. In my quality system, I have three clients. Okay, for example, 300, 400, 500. There are three clients in my quality system. Now, while importing a TR, if it's a customizing TR, if it's a customizing request, and if I import that request into client 300, that changes from that TR will only be visible or reflected in client 300, not in 400 and 500. If I want to again reflect that changes into client 400, I have to import it again into client 400. For 500, I have to import it again into client 500. So customizing TRs, you have to import as many number of times, as many number of clients you want that changes to be visible. Is this clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, on the same example for workbench request, for example, in the same system quality, you have 3 clients, 300, 400, 500. But if you import the workbench request in client 300, no need to import the same TR into 400 and 500 because it will directly go and affect your repository, and the changes will be visible in your client 400 and 500. So you only need to import your workbench request only once. Okay.
Okay, okay, I got it. And I have one more doubt regarding the various options under SEC4. So can I ask now, or I mean?
No, but we have not taken the topic yet. So if you ask it, no, others will get confused. So when
okay.
we take that topic, you ask me at that time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So
Fine.
now over here, let us. So now what is the next here? Is it starting with the client copy? I think before starting this topic, it's better we take a break of 10 minutes. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So let us take a break and see you after 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now let us start with the client copy part. Okay. So as you know that after a fresh installation, the default client which exists in the system is the 000 client. Okay, that is your 000 client. So normally your normal activity includes after a fresh installation, you have to create a new client and you have to do a client copy from your 000 client onto your new client. Is that clear? Okay, and also before doing a client copy, what you can do is that you can check the size of the client, because for example for a fresh installation it's okay if you directly start with the client copy without checking the size, that won't be much. But in case if you are doing a client copy of your existing client which is into production or quality system, that size can be too high. It might goes into GBs also, maybe 100 GB, 200 GB, 300 GB also. And if you start with a client copy, you create a new client and start a client copy, and if you don't have that free space in your operating system level, then after some time that client copy will get failed. So as a precaution, or you can say as an precautionary measure, try to check the size of your existing client. So what you can do is that okay, so this is the T code for checking your client size, and this is only available in your S/4HANA system. I don't think it will available. You can check this into your ERP or ECC system. In your ECC system, you can run this report. This is a report for checking the client size, RS space check, but it takes a lot of time. This report takes a lot of time. Okay, if it's a client is big, it might goes into like say you might have to wait for 1 or 2 hours also, maybe more than that. But this T code, I think it's relatively faster. So we can execute this T code. Okay, so here is this. I'm running this T code over here. Okay, what is saying? It is taking for your client, which client size you want to check. So right now we are into client, we only have client 000. Database tables, package table, number of parallel processes. If you want to go for number of parallel processes, we have 25. We have 25 work processes available. Sorry, the dialog work process available. So based on that, we can select. You can select 25 or something like that. So let me select 25. So 25 dialog work processes, and you can click on direct execution. Okay, click on direct execution. This has started executing. If you want to check the output, you can go into open a new session, new window, go into SM50. I think you should see the processes working over here. I think this is the service, but it's not opening more than one dialog work process. Okay, now can you see over here? See, it has started executing. It has started. It has started. It is using as many work process as it can. Okay, you can also monitor this process from your operating system level also. This font size is too big. This is the T code. This is the command for that tpmon. Okay. WL. Sorry, M menu and L. So yeah, but it is going above. So what you can do is that change settings. Instead of 14, let me bring it down to 10. Okay, so everything is completed. The reason I was opening monitoring it from the OS level was that because this is auto updating. This goes into auto update. You don't have to click on refresh again. Here in this case, you have to click on refresh again. So now everything is gone. Now if you go and check into this T code. So can you see over here? Okay, it has executed successfully. Log download options client size. So here you can see the tab, the third tab over here, which displays your client size. So what is the client size? Approximate client size in MB. What is the client size? 2.671, 30. Okay, what is this value?
267 GB, I think.
No, see, normally 260. No, we don't have a database also of 267 GB. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So this is, if see, normally in SAP it's a little reverse. So the comma, if you see the comma, it is counted as a dot. So instead of decimal, they place comma, and wherever they want to place comma, they place decimal. So if you see this value 2.
Around 2.5 GB.
Yes, around
2.6
2.5 GB. So when you say 2671.3, so this, if you divide it by 1024, this is the GB, 2.6 GB. So the size of your client is 2.6 GB. So just you have to make sure that whether you have enough space on your file system level to accommodate another client of this size. So if you come over here, so come out of here, so df minus h. So here you can see this is my, no, not here. You have to go and check into your database, not into your application server. Okay, now I will go into a database and check the size df minus h. So this is my HANA data. This is the mount point for my HANA data, and I still have, you can say, 36 GB free in it. So I can go ahead and create the new client. So now this is done. I've checked the size of the client. Now let me go back. I think we'll let it open. Now what needs to be done? Now what is the second step over here? Now create a new client. After saying the client copy, I will create a new client. How will I create a new client? SCC4. This is the T code for creating the client. Okay, so now go into SCC4. SCC4, click on SCC4. Okay, so right now we only have client 000 available in the system. If you want, click now you have to change it into the change mode. Right now it is only in display mode. Click, change it into the change mode. That client is table is cross client. Okay, so now it has gone into the change mode. Now if you click on new entries, click on new entries over here, you can see a new entry for your new client. So this is the screen where you can create a new client. So these are the information that you can put into a new client. The new client number will be 100. I'm going a new client number is 100. Development. So it will be your development client. It will be my development client, or it can be my customizing client. You can go, or you can also make it your golden client. So any description that fits your client, you can give it over here. City, which city you are going to. So I'm going making it Mumbai. Logical system. See here it is asking for the logical system. So if you have a logical system available, assign it now, or you can leave it blank. So here is my logical system. I am assigning the logical system which I created for this client. Currency. Currency is your local currency, or which currency you want for this client. Client role. What will be the role of this client? This client will be used for customizing. This is the role of the client. So I'm making the changes till here. Rest option I am keeping as it is default, and I'm saving it. Once I click on save, this new client will be created. Be careful when assigning logical system. Okay. So now my client has been created. If you go back now over here, now you can see my client has been created. Now you can see that the client 100 has been created along with my 100 client. And the client type is customizing development, and this is it. So the new client has been created. Okay, is it clear till now, everyone?
In case we close the client, like while creating, we close it, so the client copy will not happen, right?
See, there are different options. Now, when you say closing, where do you, which option or which setting you are referring to?
Like both custom cross client and customizing.
This one you're talking about?
Yes.
No, it will nothing. It will not have an impact on the client copy. Okay, now if you want to restrict client copy, this is the option. Can you see the heading client copy and comparison tool protection?
Okay.
So here it is showing us no restriction. When you click on no restriction, you can do a client copy on client 100. Okay, which means you can copy data from any other client onto client 100. Also, you can use this client as a copy. Okay, you can copy data from client 100 to any other client, in and out.
Okay.
No restriction means it will allow you to copy data, and this one other, it will also allow you to take data out of this client. Then
Okay,
other you
so
have this. Yes.
Yes. No, please go ahead.
So second option, no overwriting. When you say no overwriting, it means this client will be closed for client copy. Means you cannot copy any data. You cannot bring in any data. Okay. In inward traffic will be blocked, but outward traffic will be open. You can copy data from this client to any other client.
Okay.
Okay, so that is no overwriting, means you cannot overwrite this client. So this is a protection against client copy. So that nobody can mistakenly run a client copy on this client. Third one is your both. You are restricting both of them. No input, no output. No in, no out. Okay.
Yes.
So this is the option for your client copy. Rest both of these options are related to your TMS or CTS, change and transport system. Okay, when by default this option is selected, automatic recording of changes. When you see automatic recording of changes, it means whenever you try to save any changes, it will ask you to create a TR. Okay, that is automatic recording. It will automatically ask you to create a TR. It will record the changes, automatically record the changes. When you click on no changes allowed, you will not be allowed to make any changes. For example, in the same example what we did, we ran the T-code BD54. If I go over there and try to create a new logical system in BD54, it will give me an error, no changes allowed.
Okay.
Third option is changes without automatic recording. I can make changes in the system, but I cannot create TR from the system. First option, changes without automatic recording. I can make changes in the system, but it will not ask me to create a TR. Okay, I can make my multiple changes. It will not ask me to create any TR. In the final, in the last step, if I want to transport any data, I need to create a TOC and move the changes from this system to another system. Is it clear?
Yes.
So these are the options for your CTS, change and transport system. The second option, cross client object changes. What is cross client object changes? So by default, it is saying changes to repository and cross client customizing allowed. Repository and cross client customizing. Cross client customizing means it means I can import any transport request which can belong to any way, either to the repository or to the cross client customization. Is it clear? I think
Yes.
there's let me.
Yeah, above two are clear. I'm not. I was not clear about below two, like this. Cat, ecat, and this
This
protection
is
level.
you have a T code called as cat. I think I forgot the exact T code name. So what you can do is there you can create scripts, the same type that you create scripts in your Linux system. You can queue the commands and you can create scripts for repeating multiple like say repetitive tasks. So the same thing you can create a ecat scripts. You can create a scripts and you can run those scripts for doing that task. Do you get that?
Yes.
For example, if you want to lock 100 users, so if you have to go into SU01, you have to open again and again the 100 user one by one and you have to lock it. So instead of that, what you can do, you can create a list of this 100 users. You can create a script and you can run that script and it will automatically run the script and lock all those 100 users.
Okay. So here, if it is not allowed, we cannot do that.
No, you cannot run the scripts over here. So the T code, I think for it is something cat, I think. Transaction cat does not exist. There's some T code for that. I forgot for that. From that you can execute that scripts.
Okay. Okay.
So if that script is not allowed, you cannot run. If you want to allow it, ecat and cat allowed, only allowed for trusted RFC and allowed for this and this. So these are that. Okay, and this is protection against SAP upgrade. In case if you don't want, if you want to log this client for external access, if you don't want any users to log in into that client, you can check this box. When you check this box and save it, the users won't be able to log. No users will be able to log into this client except I think SAP staff. So this is the actual thing. When you run a client copy, this checkbox is automatically checked. When you run a client copy, this checkbox is automatically checked so that no user can log in into the source client. Oh, sorry, not the source client, the target client.
But it is saying it's protection against SAP upgrade. So I thought we cannot run upgrade.
No, I think yes, I think sorry, I think the first option, locked due to client copy. So this checkbox will be checked if you run a client copy, locked due to client copy.
Okay.
Second checkbox, it means if you check the box, nobody will be able to upgrade any support packages into the system.
Okay.
From
So
spam,
saint
save,
update,
or
yeah.
some, you cannot upgrade any packages from here. So it is restriction from doing any SAP upgrade. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Got it. Thank you.
So that was this, and then this option over here. So this option, if you see, no changes to cross-client customizing object. So in the first option, both of these options are allowed. You can even make a change. You can import changes. Sorry, you can not import. You can make changes. So when I say click on this option, you can even make changes to cross-client customizing objects, and you can also make changes to the repository. In the second option, no changes to cross-client customizing. It means you can make changes to the repository, but you cannot make changes to the cross-client customizing. The third option, you can make changes to repository, but you cannot make changes to the cross-client customizing object. Fourth option, both of them are restricted.
Yeah, Mustafa, I have one question here.
Yes.
So what we are referring to repository
Your
and
voice is not, it's a little low.
yeah, is it fine now?
Yes, now it is good.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, so what we are referring to this repository and cross-client customizing data is that client independent data and client dependent data.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. And could you please explain this client copy and comparison tool production a little bit?
See, now what is now by default, there is no restriction. No restriction means I can run a client copy on this client. Means I can copy data from another client onto this client. Okay, if I select this option, no overwriting. If I select this option, no overwriting, it means I won't be able to run client copy on this client.
Okay.
So if I close this client, if you try to run client copy, it will give you an error. It will say something like client close for copy or something like that. Okay. Second option is no external availability. When you click on this no external availability, this client won't be able to, another system or another client won't be able to access the information from this client. That is, you cannot run a client copy from this client. Means this client cannot be a source client of client copy.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and also there is a tool in which what you do is that you run a client comparison. Like if you want to check what are the difference between two clients, you can run a client comparison tool. So if you select the third option, you cannot even run a client comparison tool for this client as a source client.
Okay, okay. Yeah, fine. I got it. Okay.
Okay, I have already saved it. Now let me come back. So I have already created this client, create a new client. Now the option is for here, you see local client copy. Now to start a local client copy, I think again it needs to go through all this over here. Okay, so let me take one by one quickly. So first thing is that, see, normally what happens for this doing a client copy, there is some dependency, there is some prerequisite. What prerequisite is that you have to do a mapping. Okay, you have to create an RFC, you have to create an RFC, and you have to okay, no, before that RFC you have to create a user. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create a user for RFC connection. Second, you need to create an RFC destination. Third option is you need to map the client with the RFC destination. Is this option clear? Is this point clear? Before starting the client copy, you actually the main thing is that you need to map an RFC connection with the client. So you need RFC. So as a prerequisite of this point number 3, you have to create an RFC. Okay, so this point has a dependency on this point. You have to create an RFC. But when you create an RFC, you have to define a user. You have to define a user in the RFC. So to define a user, you have to create a user. Okay, so first thing you have to create a user. With that user, you have to create a RFC, and with that RFC, you have to save it in your mapping. Is it point clear? Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, so just for one, yes.
Are we going to continue this class?
Maybe, I think, because I think it's getting too late. So let me just explain. You will not do it practically, but I will just do the explanation and we can start it from the next time. Okay. So here it is. So the thing is that mapping means what is that when you do a client copy, you're doing a client copy from the 000 client onto client 100. So the client, you will need some data which should be read from client 000. So here actually normally it's a local system. So you should directly go and do the reading, but it doesn't. It needs an RFC. It needs an RFC connection to copy the data from 000, and not all the data, only some data related to finance. Okay, only some data related to, not also finance also, but it, I think, financial basics, that is, I think, that is a module. So for copying data for that related module, it needs this RFC. But if you don't create this RFC, your client copy will fail. So you have to create this RFC, you have to do the mapping, and then only you can run the client copy. Okay, so before running the client copy, you have to do these 3 manual tasks: create the user, create the RFC, and do the mapping. Achha, now one thing is that you also have a wizard. You have a wizard to do all these 3 activities automatically. you have a wizard to do all these 3 activities automatically. But the problem is that in 2020, this wizard doesn't work. It gives issue. Okay, it gives problem. This wizard gives problem. For example, if I run this wizard, you click on execute. Here again the start, continue. Okay, here destination, what destination you want to create. So here is the destination FinBTR S4D client 000. Okay, it is the same. Just click on continue. It will ask you for the username and the password. Password it is saying is optional. But if I want to put the password, I am giving the password in this field and clicking on continue. The normal is that when I click on complete, it gives an error. Okay, can you see password is too long enough, minimum length 10. So if you see the length of my password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, just 11 characters. Here it is showing password is not long enough. Even though it is 11 characters, it is not recognizing. It is saying it is the password is not it should be minimum 10 characters. So this is a bug. This is a bug in your S4 HANA 2020 installation. But if you do it, if you run the same T code or same wizard into S4 HANA 2021, it runs properly. So in S4 HANA 2020, you don't have to manually do this activity. You can directly run this wizard and you are good with that. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so that is, so since we cannot use this wizard, we have to do all these 3 activity manually. Okay, so I think we can stop it over here. Next time we'll start with this all this activity and starting with the client copy. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Any doubts and any queries which you want to clarify before we can conclude this today's session?
Nothing from my end.
Yes. Anybody else? Nothing. Can we conclude? Can we?
Yep. Nothing from my side too. Yep.
Okay. Then no issues. We will let us.
Hi,
Yes.
Madhu. Yeah, one small question.
Uh-huh.
So we have seen in SM50, we have, for example, we have 25 number of work process.
Okay.
So for traditional ECC system, I have 25 number of work process.
Okay.
So now in S4 HANA system, we have run a report, T code to calculate the size of the client.
1 minute. Can you come again? What?
So in S4 HANA system, we have run a T code to calculate the size of the client.
Site of the client.
No, size.
Okay. Yes.
We have run that T code, right? So
Mhm.
when we are running the T code, so it consumes a lot of dialog work process.
Yes.
So for example, in real-time scenarios, in my traditional, I'm going for a system conversion kind of.
Okay.
So in my existing landscape, I have, let's say I have 50 number of work process.
Okay.
So if I'm going for a S4 HANA, so how much there will be in approximately? So how it is?
Then 1 minute, Ram. First thing is that your voice is still not. Again, it's going low. Okay. So now clarify your question. What you say if you're going for S4 HANA conversion, then what?
Yes, if I'm going for S4 HANA conversion,
Okay.
and in my existing ECC landscape, I have a 50 number of work process.
Okay.
So if I'm going for S4 HANA, so as I think that so by seeing the T code you have executed for the calculating the size of the client, so it
Okay.
consumes more dialog work process.
Okay. Yes.
We need to configure more number of work process comparing to existing ECC system when it comes to S4 HANA.
It depends it depends upon the requirement at that time. See, the first thing is that I have not done any conversion yet. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm not clear on this answer whether you need to increase the work process or not. Okay.
Okay.
But I have run many number of times some sorry. I have used the sum tool a lot many number of times. Okay, and any of, even if doing a major upgrade, like upgrading your S4 1909 system, S4 HANA 1909 to S4 HANA 2020, or directly to 2021, I have done this kind of upgrade. But never in this kind of upgrades I have come across any situation where I had need to increase my work processes.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the thing. So normally this is the requirement. Okay, normally in this environment, I have not come across any situation where I need to do the increase the number of work processes for my before the upgrade. But in S4 HANA system, if there is a requirement for that, if there is a prerequisite, then of course you can go and you can upgrade, you can increase the number of work processes.
Okay. Okay. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, everyone. So see you. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Mustafa.